Oh my, you can thank me later. This is, and I don't really like hearing that sometimes on videos because you hear it so much, but I had rambled so much on my first video that this, right now, Joe is sitting next to me and he's just going to hand me products in whatever fashion, and I will talk to you about the new Wet n Wild collection that I was fortunate enough to run into today. I think I saw the first review from Kathy A. I apologize if I'm wrong. I believe she liked 2 products. One I was able to find, and that was the Renegade. This is like $6 mascara, and it's nice. That's my initial impression. I just purchased these like hours ago. It's like $6. Reminds me of the Benefit top. It's kind of easier to hold on to, and I'm wearing it on my right eye, and I just tried to put it on my left eye. Don't know what to say just yet. As you all know, one of my favorite mascaras is the cheapest. It's the Jordan in the black tube in the purple writing. My outstanding item out of the collection is Catsuit by Wet n Wild, and this is in color Rebel Rose 924B. I'm wearing it now. I've worn it through my coffee and muffin routine. I've had it on for a while, and I really like it. So this out of the collection is Standout, and it's a matte, and as a basis I have the Revlons. I have the Stila, which I really like. That's very expensive though. I have a MUA matte that I was not too thrilled with. So what we're going to do to get through this, Joe's going to hand me a product and I'm going to talk about it in no particular order. So just remember, anything that I initially get, I'm never too impressed with. This is the highlighter, the illuminator. Initially I thought, well, it goes on creamier than the Jordan. Initially I didn't like this at all. So initially with this as well, what's the big deal? I mean, come on, Becca or Kevin Aquan. I'm growing to like both of them. The Wet n Wild is a little more expensive, a little more creamier. It's what I'm wearing on my nose. I didn't even know that you put highlighter at the tip of your nose, which a year too late, because now Goss is kind of letting us know you're overdoing it. Don't put it on your nose. So I like this. Next item, contour. If you like, I'm one of the people who did not like Sunny NYC, I think it's bronzer or contour, whatever. I didn't like that. And so actually it's the Jordana. This one, this color reminds me a lot of the NYC. It is, however, creamier. This is that Wet n Wild one that I like. And this is the Jordana. This one, actually I have this brush from e.l.f. that I got a while back that I like. This one I believe is easier to blend than the Jordana. Yeah, definitely. So I'm not crazy. And I'm actually thinking of taking this back. What do you think? No, don't take it back. So those are my thoughts. This is the cushion, and this is one of the reasons why I had to reshoot the video over and over and over again. I want to be really careful. I like this product. You don't want it to dry out. It reminds me of my, I don't want to bring this up, but I lost my Amore Pacific CC cream that I loved. That, here I am rambling again, so I'll just stop. Anyways, so this is a stain. Someone like me with very dry skin is going to love this. I just recently plucked down some money for the Benetints, and I really like those. In fact, those are a good multitask for your blush, as well as if you want a matte look on your lips. I really like those. However, for $6, jumping back into contour, I like the cushions. Just be careful. Seal them up. Thank you, Joe. So here's a highlight. This one's a little funky. I actually use the applicator. It's more silicone-y than your typical cotton buff pad. So this is a little funkier. Initially I didn't like it, but when I see it in the camera I do. The odd thing is it looks kind of pink. So I know some people, like Mrs. Kong's mom, she likes like a champagne. Isn't it weird? I've been on YouTube so long, I know now what certain people like, what their color palettes, what they prefer. So here's a blush I like a lot. It goes on creamy. I want to see how easily that blended. I wanted to compare that to my Hourglass, which I love. This is highlighter, blush, bronzer, or contour right in there. And this smooth, almost like Kevin Aquan. This is the blush that I just compared to Wet n Wild. And this is the very creamy. Can't go wrong with the Hourglass comparable to this Wet n Wild. This is a cute story. I was on a quest, Joe and I, for every weekend for 2 months because Toddy raved about this for $3.99. It's comparable to the $30+ Charlotte Tilbury, and she raved about it. And I can't open it now. Anyhow, finally got it. In fact, Joe went on eBay and got 2 of them. And it reminds me of the Darling Debs and Susan W. I used to watch and think it was so cute how their husbands would see some makeup product in the store and pick it up for them. And now here I have Joe and he does the same thing. And here is the highlighter. I'll use this brush, this to put it on. It has to, it's like, I think I have to get through that initial, it is a nice gold. It's like a lot of people didn't understand why I chose NARS Translucent and Crystal over the Hourglass powders initially when they all came out. And it's probably because I got through that first layer of the NARS Translucent. And I think I have to do that with this item as well. But finally got one for Christmas, actually 2, and delighted. My other thought was too, from my initial video, I'm right-handed. Do you recall me in my videos primarily showing you makeup with my right hand or with my left? Am I just using my left hand a lot now because I like looking at my ring? Let me know if I'm being obnoxious. So next product, oh, he's so awesome. He tried to open it. He did open it for me. This is funny. I never return makeup. I don't. This is the one item sun ceremony. Initially, I returned. And I don't know, maybe it's because Joe saw this and thought that this was the gold highlighter. So Joe, this is one of the items he brought back from one of his grocery shopping trips. And now I like it. Is it because Joe bought it for me, or is it because I'm doing my usual thing? I hate everything initially. I do. Did you just whisper even me? I didn't hate you.
Turn me down.
What do you mean?
For dinner. You hung up on me.
Oh, I hung up on him initially. I don't know if you all know the story. Joe just replied, yeah, even me you hated. My father died. For some reason, Joe was reading the obituaries and reached out to me, and I happened to need an accountant. So we had lunch to talk about things, and he was talking about his family, and I thought, you have the perfect life. You know, I wish that he was getting a little, I knew where things were heading in college, and I was just very sheltered, innocent girl, and I didn't want to head down that path, and that's why we broke up. I don't know if you know that. But anyways, listening to him about his family life and all that, I was like, oh, you know, I wish I was more, I don't know, whatever. I was so happy for him. Such a good guy. I remember him as a choir boy. So anyways, fast forward a couple years later, and instead of the typical business-like texts, one month I was getting, the tone was different. And this is why Joe said I didn't like him initially, is the tone was different, and finally he had texted me, "Are you mad at me?" And I didn't want him to think that I was mad at him. So I called him and I said two simple sentences. The tone of your text is different and you're married. And I hung up on him, and then I got a text back, "Well, not for long." And that's when we started dating. So that's why he said even him I didn't like initially. So here's two more blushes from the Wet n Wild. Okay. Do I have any more items?
No, you did that already.
Did I do? No, that was I did the highlighter. Did I do the contour? No. Did I? Just in case I didn't. This one I didn't use the spongy, like, I think I did actually. That's why I had to start the whole video over again. I had a whole circle of this stain over my face, but I do like it. So to recap, the standouts for the new collection for Wet n Wild for me are the blushes and the lipstick. I'm warming up, not to say that I didn't like anything else, but I'm warming up to everything else. I am just so delighted to have found this collection. Hope you enjoyed.